Garrett on the go time. Walt Disney World reporter Garrett Hassel standing by in Walt Disney World with all the latest news and topics to share. Where are you at today, friend?
Hello there, everyone. I am in front of the new France expansion here in Epcot, which is my favorite park. I'm in front of the new entranceway where it says opening 2021. No designation as to when in 2021, just 2021. So we've got like 10 more months of excitement, hopefully summertime. But you never know when it comes to a place like Walt Disney World. They can come and go just as quickly because this was supposed to open spring of 2020, and well, we know how that happened. So fingers crossed that by summer 2021, we will get to go on the new Ratatouille attraction as well as eat some delicious crepes at the new creperie. But the bathrooms are open. So if you're a bathroom person like me, perfect for you.
How excellent. And I look forward to riding Remy's Ratatouille adventure by December 31st, 2021 when it opens, because you're right, they do sometimes go all the way up until the last possible minute, and I know they want the biggest bang for their buck, right? They want to be able to open this to big crowds, and can't really do that when the theme park capacity is capped, so we understand. Yeah. But hey, we are all about the news this week, sir, when it comes to cultural representatives possibly returning.
Yes. So if you've never been to Epcot, or if you've been to Epcot in the past, one thing that made Epcot so interesting was that in each of the countries around the World Showcase, the citizens of those countries actually worked here. So you'd go to France and people actually from France were here. You didn't have Joe from Iowa. Nothing against you, Joe from Iowa, but having the cultural representatives added a sense of like, it just made it more authentic, more real. You go to Italy, they're from Italy. You go to China, so on and so forth. And we got news that International Services, which is the department of Disney that looks for cultural representatives, they go to the different countries and say, hey, we need 10 people from France to fill spots in there. They are actually looking for cultural representatives for the new creperie here in the France expansion. They're going to be looking for hosts, servers, pastry chefs, and a crepier, which is a fancy name for someone that knows how to make crepes, which are really thin pancakes. If you've never had a crepe before, they are phenomenal and delightful. The creperie is back in the expansion. You can actually walk back there, but there is a wall up, and once that wall comes down, well, you can get some delicious crepes. You can get them on the go. You can get them to sit down, and then beyond that wall, well, you've got the new Ratatouille attraction, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. But it is exciting to know that hopefully within the next few months, we may have some cultural representatives out here speaking French to all the lovely guests that are coming through, rather than having, again, Joe from Iowa. Nothing against you, Joe, but I would love some authentic Frenchmen and French women here, some Parisianers and all that good stuff. But
Frenchers.
very exciting.
Like a Gaston type man.
Yes. Well, that is me. I've got the burgundy shirt on, and I'm still working on the muscles, but I will be your Gaston type man for the day. And unfortunately, I'm not from France. I'm from Stockton, California.
Oh,
it's like Joe from Iowa.
Yeah, you're. I don't know. Being from Stockton might make it worse, but yeah. 11209. What up?
As long as you started your day with 5 dozen eggs.
Yeah, today was only 4 dozen, but but that's when I was a lad. When I'm grown, I eat 5 dozen eggs, so I'm roughly the size of a barge.
Wow. Thank goodness for that. Hey, this is great news, knowing that cultural representatives are on their way back. I know that last year when Walt Disney World had to shut down, it became more so about just trying to find work for the people that, were sort of full-time individuals that had been with Disney World for decades, and trying to move them back into place. And I know that a lot of cultural representatives were sent home. It's usually part of and tied in with the college program as well. A lot of individuals like to come be a part of Epcot from around the globe and fill those various pavilions, as you mentioned, Garrett, with that authentic touch. And unfortunately, since Disney World officially reopened last year, we have been getting Joe from Tampa, and it's been tough not going to these individual countries and seeing people from those countries. So really cool to hear that we are back on track, at least for France, and starting to see a little bit more motion in that direction. It's one of the reasons, Katrina, why Epcot is so special.
It is, was even when the last time we were there in November, we were walking around Epcot, and it just felt weird because we're used to seeing these like, you know, cultural representatives wearing special costumes that are, you know, represented for each country. And now you're seeing them wear, you know, like cast members just wear the flag shirts that they always wear at the food and wine festivals.
The all flags.
The all flags white shirt. And it's just so strange. Like we walked into Mexico and we're like, whoa, this is weird. And it doesn't seem right. And I get it. Like, you know, they have to do it. You know, they couldn't really get those representatives, but I'm really excited to see them come back because I always love seeing them wear their costumes and stuff because no other person besides if you're from that country can wear those costumes in the store. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. And hey, Garrett, when it comes to Epcot, there's a piece of Epcot that was recently removed, and that was the Leave a Legacy monolith. These are basically the giant gravestone-looking things that were out in front of the park as you walked in, leading up to Spaceship Earth, the big golf ball for the people that don't know Disney lingo. And those monoliths were removed for the sake of reimagining the entry experience into Epcot, and so those got removed during construction, and they brought those back in a capacity. What can you tell us about it?
Yes. So before I get into the actual story, if you've never seen it, from 1999 to 2007, guests had the opportunity to take pictures by Disney and have their faces put on these gravestones, as you said, Wade. And it was there to create a beautiful representation of our global community. That's because Epcot is all about the world coming together. It was Walt's original idea for Disney World to be Epcot, a sort of a utopia where everyone comes together. But along with the story, Disney has unveiled a new rendition of the Leave a Legacy. As you enter the park, or as you exit the park at the main entranceway, you're going to see these colorful walls there, and on them, you're going to see pictures of families that have been there, or of family names. And they have a cool thing where you can actually scan a QR code, and by doing that, you can find your family name if you were one of the hundreds of thousands of families that got to do this. Now, these walls, I went and checked it out beforehand. I'm 6'2", 6'3" on a good day. These walls are easily 10 feet tall. So if you are vertically challenged, and you have a family all the way at the top, it's going to take a little bit of work to see your family up there. It's true.
Did you find NSYNC?
Yeah. What?
Did you find NSYNC?
No, I didn't have a chance to go as deep into finding NSYNC. Actually, Ariel's family, they have a Leave a Legacy on there, so I'll have to check that out another time. But I asked around, and I asked cast members, so like, are these walls going to be permanent? Because they are mighty thing. It like sort of blocks out anyone looking out into the parking lot, and it blocks the parking lot from looking in. I asked the cast member, said, are these going to be permanent? And they said, in Disney terms, they are quote unquote permanent, which means they could be permanent, they could not be permanent, but at least for right now, they're going to stay there. My opinion of them is that while they are very colorful and nice, I'm not impressed with it. I thought they were going to be keeping those monoliths and rearranging them as people walk in from the parking lot, sort of like as a grand walkway going in, like leading you into this park. But now you just got these walls as you exit, and they're not even all together. They're split, where if you go off to as you're leaving the park, if you go off to the left to the buses, they have them on their side. And then if you go off to the right, towards the bigger half of the parking lot, you'll see them over there. And I banged on them. They are just straight steel plates. They're steel beams, and they're loud. I don't think they're that impressive. They're cool to look at, but I am not overly impressed with them. I thought they could have done something more. They mentioned the QR code, which is amazing. I thought it would have been cooler to, like, I don't know, maybe fiber optics to make them glitter or something at night, or you enter a family's name, your family name, and then it like ping, 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 and you can find it. They just right now just look like a giant fence up to keep the outside world from looking in. From the back, it's just a straight metal wall with support beams at the back. So from the backside, it's not very impressive to look at. So hopefully that these will change once Epcot finishes getting its remodel by 2037. But until that time, these walls are going to be there. Check it out. I plan on doing another trip to Epcot, and I will do a very in-depth look at them, and maybe my opinion will change upon giving it more than 10 minutes. But for right now, it's nice to see that Leave a Legacy isn't gone forever, but I just think Disney could have done a little bit more. The colors are nice. They match the new motif of Epcot being a colorful place with the world coming together. But
I think it's cool that they were able to bring back a lot of these faces. I think it was pretty neat that they were able to rectify the situation in terms of, they removed it. It's a part of people's history. I know a lot of folks loved it. At the same time, a lot of people didn't think it looked all that good. In fact, it got panned a lot by Disney purists because you walk in and it really did kind of look like a graveyard. I've heard that said several times.
Yeah, it looked like a war memorial.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very much so.
That's what it looked like. I mean, it looked like when I was in DC, like at the Vietnam Memorial and stuff like that. Like that's really what
it's mourning what Walt's original idea for Epcot was. That's what they're for, in my mind. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, but it's nice to see that they found a way to bring it back in some sort of capacity, and so now you can still find your family and your friends that maybe you took those images with. At any rate, we digress, and it looks like that the Walt Disney Company is mentioning that attendance from last year when Disney World first reopened, it left a lot to be desired. Obviously, attendance was capped. Things were low. Things have improved. Isn't that right?
That is right indeed, Wade. So when the parks reopened around July of 2020, there was a 25% capacity limit in each of the parks. Now, we do not know what 25% of the original number is. I'm sure it's in the tens of thousands, but quarter four was, in the 25% range. And then quarter one, which we have been in since October, Disney's fiscal year is a little bit different than normal calendar year.
That's right.
But they've upped the capacity to 35%, meaning you get an extra 10% of people. On this show, we've talked many times about how we honestly don't think it's 35%. We think it's a lot higher, but we don't know the numbers. We are not privy to that information yet.
Yes.
But
one day.
Yeah, people are still happy about this place. People still want to come out, even despite all the guidelines and restrictions that are in place. People still want to come here. On a day like today, there are lines going down like sort of little boulevards and streets here to get some of the food of Festival of the Arts, and people are moseying around. The weekends are always packed here at Walt Disney World, regardless of the park. And luckily, there are park hopping abilities, but sometimes that doesn't happen on the weekends. But the attendance here continues to grow. It seems that more and more people want to have some sense of normalcy and to be able to come to the most magical place on earth. So they keep coming and coming and coming. And Disney's CFO said that despite guests canceling trip because they don't want to follow the mask mandate that is here, that is not stopping other guests from taking those guest spots. So if you are in the percentage of, hey, I don't want to have to wear a mask at Disney World, Disney says that's okay. We have a line out the door for the people that are willing to follow those rules and come on inside, because Disney's forefront thing is we don't want to shut down again, so we have to enforce these rules with mask wearing. So if you haven't come to Walt Disney World yet, please make sure you bring a mask with you and you follow the rules, because Disney is not taking anything for granted. They are going to say, hey, you can't follow it, get out of here, head down to Harry Potter Land, down I-4.
Well, that's not true either. If you're going to report the news, you got to report the news, my buddy.
Okay. But yeah, Disney World's still very popular. People are coming out, and from what I've seen, the high majority of people are wearing masks. Like, I don't see very many people walking with it under their nose, and if I do, they usually pull it up real fast, especially when they see a cast member nearby, because Disney is serious. They have cast members walking around enforcing the mask rules, except for Disney Springs. That's sort of like the Lawless End, but we're not going to talk about that. We're sticking to the Wild West just for right now.
Well,
it
very
is
good. Yeah, it's great to see that the attendance uptick is there, that people have an interest in safely traveling again, and I know that you're right. For correction, this was the quarter one call and discussion about how things have increased, and they in quarter four we're talking about the 35% attendance increase cap that they were allowing for just a little bit more wiggle room, a few more people allowed back into the parks than originally they had. So very nice to hear that people are getting a little bit more comfortable safely traveling again and figuring out ways in which to just get out of the house and enjoy themselves without the worry and the fear and the threats. They know that, I guess, Disney World has been able to pull it off well, and yes, Universal also doing everything when it comes to safety.
Yeah, you butthead.
I'm sorry. I had to make a jab at the competition. I'm just kidding. Universal is a cool place. I just haven't gone there in 2 years despite working for them.
Jeez Louise.
For one night.
It was a great
It was
career.
Silly.
It was orientation, and I was a valued employee.
Clearly. Hey, and then we move elsewhere in Walt Disney World to discuss something else that was brought up recently during this quarterly earnings call, where Bob Chapek, the CEO, was talking about the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel, the ultra-themed hotel environment that is coming to Walt Disney World. And he said to everybody that was listening in on the call, people are going to be blown away by the experience. It is truly unlike anything we have ever done before. Can you tell us anything?
Away. Yes, I can. Blown away. So, Walt Disney World is building a Star Wars hotel. Name my thing. What is a Star Wars hotel? Well, it's a sort of exclusive situation where there's not as many rooms as, say, the Grand Floridian that has hundreds upon hundreds. This has dozens upon dozens of rooms. And inside these rooms, you get to, it's like you're on board a galactic star cruiser called the Halcyon. And inside there, they have the little cubicles for the kids to sleep in. They have beds for the parents. And when you're on this thing, you're not just a normal guest. You are part of the Star Wars universe, making it a truly immersive experience. From the concept art and from the pictures we've been seeing, it seems like they're getting these staterooms ready to go. Inside of here, you will not only be able to test your lightsaber abilities by learning this ancient art form of battling with the most powerful weapon in the galaxy, but also you will have areas to hang out, drink, eat, and all that good stuff. In your staterooms, you'll also be able to gaze out into the endless abyss of space and see starships and planets fly right by. So it's unlike an experience like any other. Now, since it's unlike an experience, it's going to cost a little bit more than usual. It's possibly going to cost into the thousands of dollars, even for a 2 to 3 night experience of this. But if you can do this thing, you get a special way of going into Batuu, into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. You take a special shuttle and land onto the planet of Batuu. And with that, you get to go on Tyler's favorite ride, the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, and you get to go on Rise of the Resistance. So I'm looking forward to this thing, if I ever get to experience it, that is. But I can't wait to see when this thing is done and Disney gives us an in-depth tour, or we just get to see more images of it, because there's been a lot of promise from the Walt Disney Company in regards to Star Wars things. They said when you enter Galaxy's Edge, you're going to feel like you're in that world. You're going to see aliens and robots walking around, getting to interact with you. So we can only hope that maybe in a smaller environment, such as the Galactic Star Cruiser, we will get to experience that. But regardless, it's still an exciting venture that we can go on. And Disney hasn't really released the exact day, but they're saying 2021 is the goal to go and experience the Galactic Star Cruiser. I, for one, want to check out what it's like to, do a lightsaber training. I want to do what Luke used to do, put on the blind visor and feel the Force, feel the Force flowing through you, as the words of Obi-Wan. But I'm pumped for it. Wade, if you want to book that for me right now to experience it on your behalf, I would be happy to do so. Tyler, Katrina, if you want to help book that on your behalf as well, it's a sacrifice
yes.
I'm good.
I'm willing to make.
Take out a new line of credit just for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely.
I can't get over the guy that's in these promos that looks like Star-Lord with his little red jacket. And I'm like, what are they going to do? Mash Marvel and Star Wars together? Because they're going to be desperate soon. And they're going to be like, please stay here. It'll be Marvel and Star Wars.
Someday maybe. But
It's part of the multiverse of Marvel. Like, they've got Star Wars in there. It's like Disney owns it all. They can do whatever they want. There are no rules anymore in terms of intellectual properties.
I mean, for Star Wars especially, come on, Chapek. They're just like mashing all the stories together. So I'm curious how that's going to like pan out, right? Because go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
So like the whole point of this is like Batuu is supposed to be a specific timeline.
Yeah.
And then now they're just like, you know what? We're going to wipe our hands clean of it. Over here, Darth Vader's going to be here, but then Kylo Ren's going to be right over there. And then you're going to have like Chewbacca walking around, but then Rey's going to be here. And it's just like, okay, so is Darth Vader and Rey going to be walking around at the same time? Because that makes no sense. And then on top of that, now they're wanting this hotel to work where you're in this specific timeline and you're going to be transferred from the hotel to Batuu without seeing the outside world, and because they want it to be seamless.
Right.
But then you're going to like walk in and there's Darth Vader. And Darth Vader's already dead at this point.
For those that don't know,
alert.
For those that don't know, they've kind of already said recently that they're going to be throwing out the story of Batuu. So all that stuff is going to be gone. Every part that makes sense in that timeline will not make sense any longer. So
I think we all knew it was just a matter of time.
Yeah,
before
but
that was going to happen.
It's true, but it's really sad that this hotel didn't even open and they threw it away. And now they're telling us, Garrett kind of took the words out of my mouth because, like he was saying that, oh yeah, this Galaxy's Edge is going to be unlike anything you've ever seen. There's going to be droid, just exactly what Garrett was just saying. And it was kind of, to me, super underwhelming when it opened up. Like,
let's not poo-poo it before we see it. Certainly, a lot of things can change, and
I want them to give me more information. Is what I want.
Sure.
That's like, because I'm like, we're all theorizing like what it's going to be like, and I'm like, just give me a little bit more, please.
I know many of us were disappointed after Galaxy's Edge opened. A lot of what was promised wasn't there, and never came, even after being told it was going to. And so automatically, I think it leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth. The idea of more Star Wars IP. Well, are we going to do it right this time? Yeah, so let's hope so. And Garrett, we appreciate you bringing us all those top stories from this week out in Walt Disney World. You stick around, and we'll talk to you in a bit.
Absolutely. I'll see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to go eat a crepe. See you later.
Yeah, go get yourself a crepe. As soon as it opens, wait in line.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.